Peace, family. Queen here. Central banks want to control you, and they want to control your money. I was gonna do a different video today, but I'm gonna wait because I need to put some more pieces together. But I'm gonna go through Biden's executive order for surrounding central bank digital currencies, right? So if you take a look at what's taken place last year with the regional banks, you know, Silicon Valley and all the other regional banks, that the system let those banks go under. They actually let those banks fail, right? Because they're not classified as a systemically risky entity, right? So you've only got, you know, that type of clout if you're one of the big boys, the big five or big six, right? The Morgan, JP Morgan, Wells, B of A, Merrill Lynch, you know, those guys, right? So in Yellen, there's actually a Senate hearing on YouTube. Excuse me. There's a Senate hearing on YouTube. I'll try to find that as well and put that in a video where you can hear her say that at the end of the day, we decide which banks will backstop, meaning save, and which banks will let go under. It looks like the narrative or the plan is to allow these mid-sized, you know, regional banks to go ahead and fail. Then you have a handful of, you know, larger banks, 5 to 6, because with 5 or 6 banks you can then control, right, those banks. And you have to realize what the end game is with these people. The end game with these people is ultimate control over every single thing that you do. So if their plan, if their dominoes can fall the way that they want them to, and they have a handful of these top banks, you know, that they can control, then they can usher in the central bank digital currency, right? Because they don't need regional banks at that point. So they can issue, you know, currency injected directly into the economy without the regional banks. See, the mid-sized regional banks are really the ones that stimulate the economy. It's not the bigger banks. The bigger banks, all they do is they don't really loan money, you know, to small, mid-sized business folks. Those are the mid-sized regional banks that do that. The bigger banks, you know, they just go back and forth, swapping their capital for treasuries, right? Because it's an all-day, you know, slam dunk. So, you know, you can just look at it from a grand scale. You go into one of these big banks, they don't, they do not give loans, right? Only the mid-sized regional banks, right? So this is just Queen's thought process as far as this whole shit show goes. It looks like to me that they're wanting to wipe all of that out, and they're wanting 5 or 6 that they can control. They want to usher in this central bank digital currency, right? And with that CBDC, you know, that's not a real crypto from the ethos of why Bitcoin was started and why Bitcoin was put out here for the people, because it's a free, ungoverned, untainted, you know, seizure-proof technology, right? It's a technology that's not manipulated, and that's the whole point. The whole point of this whole Bitcoin, crypto, DeFi space is to remove the control from those people that don't have our best interest at heart. All right. So I don't want to get too deep. I'm going to do a different video where I go into that executive order that of Biden's, and then I'll do my best to find that clip where Yellen says, well, yeah, you know, we decide what banks we want to save and which ones we don't, you know. And it's not even that they got money to the side, right? The system has money to the side to save these banks. At the end of the day, you and I would be the ones saving the banks. We would be the ones saving the banks to then screw us over, Is that not crazy? We would be the ones saving the banks to then ultimately screw us over. Okay? Because if you have, or if the populace agrees, right? And it may not even be a full front agreement. It may be an acquiesce, agreeing without knowing you're agreeing, right? To this CBDC. Think about it. If someone can control an on and off switch on your money spending, do you think they will? Do you think they will at some point invoke that control? You're damn right they will. You're damn right they will. You say something the wrong way, you do something on social media, you get some type of attention, just anything. And then Big Boy, you'll see here in this video, Big Boy, I call him Big Boy because he's real obese, like very, very unhealthy. And he doesn't have a neck, so I call him Big Boy. Just let's watch the video. Watch the video. Hang on, let me find it here. Let's see right here. All right, let's play it.
The Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland, is the central bank of the central banks. At its innovation hub, it is working hard to roll out the central bank digital currency. Agustin Carstens, the general manager of the Bank for International Settlements, released a video statement in October 2020 that raised a lot of eyebrows.
Big boy right there.
We tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability.
You hear what Big Boy just said? Big Boy just said, if you use cash, we don't have no control. We don't know what you're doing. You don't need to know what I'm doing. It's not your business what I'm doing. Then he said, but with the CBDC, we can see everything. We can control everything. That's the end game, family, is control. All right, let's see what Big Boy has to say.
And also, we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
Carsten says that central banks desire absolute control over how the money can be spent. This implies a huge level of control.
You have to understand that the Bank of International Settlements was created, and the primary reason it was created was not the stated reason. The primary reason it was created was to create a bank that had sovereign immunity. And since the Hague Convention, they have figured out ways of extending that sovereign immunity around the planet and combine it with sovereign immunities that other organizations have been able to build and get, like the WHO and the UN. And you've created a breakaway civilization that thinks it has sovereign immunity from all national constitutions and basic laws.
Catherine Austin Fitz is an American investment banker, formerly the managing director of investment bank Dillon Read. She was also Assistant Secretary of Housing for the Bush administration in 1988.
They have been pushing towards a system that will make the economics of total central control work for them. That's what you have to understand. You've got a group of people who can just print as much money as they want out of thin air, or were able to do it until the commodity producers, had a fit in the last couple months. So as long as you could print money out of thin air and trade it for labor and commodities around the world, you had all the money in the world, right? What's important is not money. What's important is controlling real assets. So what I try and do is I try and get the general population all interested and enamored with money while I'm trying to control the real things, including the people. One of the big questions is going to be, will banks exist? Because you can do everything digitally at the central bank. But it also means that the central bankers can dictate the rules of when and how you can use your money. Think of of this as a financial control grid, okay? And all you have to do, you've been building it, and you've been building the infrastructure and the smart grid to build it. You only need to add 2 last pieces. And then it snaps into a digital concentration camp. If tomorrow everybody woke up and said, I'm going to pull all my money out of every systemically important bank, there would be a revolution tomorrow. It would be fabulous. So the first thing we can all do is, for God's sakes, take the system analog as much as you can. So whether it's using cash or getting rid of your smartphone, just get out of the digital system.
Get out of their digital system. And what she was saying was directly on point.
The Bank
right?
for International
It would be a revolution tomorrow if everyone said, you know what, I'm sick of this system. It's been treating me and my family unfairly, and I'm going to go to a different system. Luckily, we have that alternative system, family, with Bitcoin, with DeFi, with crypto. We have that alternative system right now that's running parallel with the traditional financial system. All you have to do is invoke your sovereignty by using that system. See, people think, it's an election here in the States. It's an election year. That's what I meant to say. Election year in the States, right? This year. And, people think, going down to the polls and voting for, their Republican or their Democrat, whoever it is, whatever camp, at the end of the day, behind the curtain, they're all one camp, but they got you thinking it's a different camp. But anyway, they think that that is where, decisions are made. It's not. It's not. You vote with your money. That's how you vote. If you want to vote with your money, like the lady just said, right? Use cash, use an alternative system, an analog system, right? She said analog, but I'm going to say use an alternative system that's not controlled by the same system that's been financially oppressing you. The only alternative that we have is Bitcoin, DeFi, and crypto. And thank the Most High for that, right? So now you've got to figure out, how to move yourself out of that system slowly, gradually, and then all of a sudden, right? So that you can have your financial freedom and your financial prosperity, because you're not going to get it in a traditional financial system. You're just not, right? So do your studies, do what you need to do. This is the year. In my opinion, this is the year where people will make it or break it. In my opinion, this is the year. So if you have not been serious up until now about your finances, your portfolio, about your prosperity, about your abundance, about your family's lineage, right? This is the year. This is the year. I think the poop is going to hit the fan. All right. So I will see you in the next update videos. Look out for that video. Like I said, I'm going to do a video on that executive order, and again, try and find that clip from Yellen as well. So I've got, my 2 projects in the description of the video. If you haven't really sat down and looked at them, yeah, I implore you, you want to sit down and really take a hard look, and figure things out for yourself. A couple of the things that I'll share with you with my project 1. If you deposit $5,000 and above, or project 2, if you buy 50 contracts, you'll get invited into Queen's VIP financial team. Now, what is Queen's VIP financial team? Queen's VIP financial team is resources, tools, experts in your corner, right? That will guide you, will show you, give you the tools that you need to use the same wealth strategies that's been used against you, for now you to use them for the benefit of yourself and your family, right? That's an additional bonus that I offer, because I know, if you do the $5,000 deposit or you do the 50 contracts, you may, in a couple of years have an amount of capital that you've never had before and you're not used to having, and you need to know the right moves to make, right? So that you're under the radar, you're protected, and the bulk of your money is staying with you and your family. All right. Peace, family. I'll see you in the next video.